All right. So thank you guys for being here. We wanted to share with you guys some real-world growth with AI. So I will walk over a couple of slides for around 10 minutes just to give you some concepts. And then I will have here one of my beloved customers to go and answer some of the questions that I have for him. As well, he can answer questions for you, so you guys can see, how AI is impacting, his business. So this is a slide that we put, which is the key areas where AI drives value for distributors. You guys can use your phones to scan that QR code, and you're going to find, the different pain points and as well the different solutions that you can have. So you don't need to memorize it. You can do this, right? You got that? Perfect.
Yes, STAFDA app.
Or is the STAFDA app? Perfect. Yeah, you can have that. So the whole idea here is to present to you guys the opportunities that you have, right, as a distributors on how to improve your business. So people ask me like, AI, how can you use it? And I say, well, first of all, you need to find a pain point. What is what you wanted to solve, and define that before you jump into the technology, any technology, right? So that's what we wanted to do there. And I put the different kind of areas, sales, marketing, operations, finance, accounting, procurement, and inventory, because in every single of these areas, things could be improved. So that's the whole idea here. And then the benefits, those are very generic benefits. I am not claiming that that's going to happen to everyone. This is just to provide kind of a color around what things can happen, right, if you guys implement technology. And then the last one are vendors, some of the ones that I know that are available out there. I'm pretty sure there are more than that. People ask me, why do you put competitors? I think that's a safe bet, right, which is you guys wanted to go and look into what they have or what they do, right, in that sense. So this is the good news for the industry, which is a lot of companies are coming into the space and trying to fill, those gaps that we have in the solution part. So I will be focusing on sales and marketing, and I will be focusing on procurement and inventory. So those are the two main ones I will be focusing on. So let's talk about dynamic pricing, optimization, and quote automation, right? These are, big, long part. These are the different aspects that I think you guys are feeling in your own company, right? So we can say, what about, daily quote processes, right? So a lot of companies are spending hours on that. You have the inside sales, outside sales, and you would say that adds value. Not all the time, right? It just depends how you have that set up. You say pricing accuracy, right? And we can go on how bad or how good it could be. Typically, when you don't have something set up in your ERP system, that can go really wrong, right? Especially with the new people. When you have someone doing quotes for over 10, 20, 30 years, and they have, photo memory, yeah, they can remember the pricing, but when you have the new thoughts and use blood into the company, that's scary, right? To get that part. Sales team impact, same thing. The confidence that they have on quoting something. This happens not just with the new people, but as well when you are adding new products into your line card, right? So one thing is I know about nuts and bolts. One thing is when, hey, let's buy these tools. Okay, what is a good price for that, right? You have low confidence to provide that pricing. Financial results, you have variation all over the place in terms of that part. And the last one, customer experience, right? Which I think should be the first one, the experience, right? I had this conversation with my customers, and I asked them how important it is to have an RFQ within minutes. It depends. Yeah, it depends, but it depends on the customer. Some people, they just wanted to get a price on delivery. If they have it, they place a PO. But if you say, hey, wait for me 24 hours, and you call and follow up, it's gone, right? So it just depends. But it's better to have something that you can do really fast. So this is the before, right? How things are maybe in your company at this point. Let's discuss things after you implement something that allows you to have that, dynamic price optimization. So we can see it here, daily quotes. You can go the after, within rush orders. I just mentioned that part. In pricing accuracy, consistent optimal margin across all deals. So imagine that you can go with an owner or a sales manager or a CFO and telling that consistency across the different channels and different deals. So you know that you got the order, but also you know that you didn't leave money on the table, right? So that's pretty much what we're talking about. Sales team impact, confidence about presenting prices to customers. So we do all these every single time. And, we talk with, people have been in the industry for 10, 20 years and they have confidence in the pricing that they have. But when we talk with the younger ones and we are presenting the pricing in the ERP system, they love it because they can see as they go that they're getting the orders, and that provides confidence in what the person they are presenting. And of course, financial results. I mean, we have lived between 100 to 300 basis points. We have seen that over and over. I mean, the customer experience is just awesome, right? You can have it over the phone, over an email, over the e-commerce platform, and that's the whole idea to have it there. So that's on the dynamic price optimization and product automation. And people ask me this, what is the difference between doing it with regular technology processes with AI? And this is the best answer that I have so far. Both of them can resolve the challenge. The difference is that with AI, it's going to adapt to those things that are happening, it's going to learn, and it's going to do something faster, right? As a humans, we're able to do this, but it's going to take us a lot of brain power to make that happen. And that's the thing with AI, that you can over and over can start improving this. And again, when we talk with Kirk, he can share some of the experience that he has in his company working with it. So that's a big difference. It's like anything. You can resolve things with a calculator, with a computer, with your fingers, right? But it's about how applicable that is. So let's go over the 8-power demand forecasting and inventory optimization. Let's use the same framework. So we have the aspects, we have the inventory management aspect, gut feel order decisions, right? I just was talking with a prospect 10 minutes ago, and that's what he said. He's using NetSuite. He has a bunch of people that have been super experts doing this, and when I ask him how you're making decisions, I just see the PO and I just place it, right? I've done this many, many times. So I don't know about you guys, but that happens a lot of time. Stock availability, constant firefighting mode, right? This is about placing POs and billing rushing every single day at the end of the month. What is your stock position? And then you are like, oh my gosh, what do I need to do here? Purchasing processes, overordering to avoid stockouts. I mean, that's what I did many years, kind of running the purchasing department. Is like, I'd rather to have more inventory and not being accused by sales that we don't have stuff to sell, right? And when things were dry, I do the opposite, just human behavior, right? But there is no way to do it better. Working capital, well, limited funds for new opportunities, and this is the typical conversation with the CFO or the controller, right? Well, we went to do this project, that project. We don't have money. You have all money tied up in the inventory. Sell, a couple of $100,000 and you can invest, right? Customer experience, same thing. Customers complain sometimes that at the beginning we have. So the after is going to be how can we have inventory management, data-driven purchase orders. Stock availability is to have reliable suppliers for customers, how we can become that. The purchasing process, how can have optimal order quantities. I call these to know what to buy, when to buy, and how much to buy, and place the PO. That's pretty much what we have. And then in working capital, having capital to grow. And the last one, consistent delivery process. I don't know how you guys struggle with this. Other than running a couple of distribution businesses, this happens all the time to me, right? Same thing, you can resolve these with almost anything, but again, when you use AI to help you out, it goes back to the same thing. AI can adapt to the things that you are experiencing in demand planning and supply planning to make that happen, and that's a big difference. All right, so let's talk about from ideas to success. So real world growth with AI, that was the promise that we have. So I asked Kirk, and he was so kind to come here. He has been a customer of ours for over 4 years. He has been using the inventory and the pricing model. So come on, Kirk. All right.
Thank you, Gil.
All right, so we have a couple of questions here. So I think I will give you the microphone and we can go each one by one.
Yeah.
So again, Kirk Zehnder from Earnest Machine, and 4 years feels like forever, and that's a good thing. When we looked at evaluated some of the other options, we've done lots of technology projects, and and lots of those have not worked, as you know, or they took 3 times longer than you expected and cost 3 times more, typically. So when we're looking at this, what we really wanted to understand is how can we quickly deploy it, how much of a partner would Intuilize be with us, and not just, here's your, someone sells you the software, it gets installed, and you never see the salesperson again? Yeah. So we've been through that, and so it was much different in entering a partnership with Nelson and his company. What we really wanted was someone that could work with us and help us through this. We knew that we weren't great at this. We are not great at pricing. We are not great at inventory management. Even though we never told our bank or anyone else that, we knew exactly what we were doing, and we were really awesome at it. We didn't know what we were doing, and it was everything that you put up there. It was this idea of gut. I can't tell you how many times a salesperson in our company was thrilled when they sold a bunch of dead, slow-moving inventory. I was like, quick, find the buyer immediately before they place the PO to replace all that, because those two didn't often talk. I'm not repeating anything I think that's new to anyone. So we were not good at this, and we really wanted to get better at it, and Intuilize seemed like the kind of company that would hold our hand, but also smack us occasionally when we needed to be told to do something. I say that very affectionately, but it's true. You're not doing it the right way. You need to look at something differently, and we did not want to deal with some of those truths. Fair? Yeah, we knew what we were doing, right? Been doing this for 75 years. We don't need your help. We desperately did. So, yeah. I would say the biggest surprise was that, like I said, the partnership was what we were really investing in, and buying, if you will, and that proved to be through and through with everyone at Intuilize. It's a really solid team that weirdly really cares about our business, and I know a lot of people say we care about your business, but Nelson and his team really care about our business, and I don't want to say that was surprising, because I trusted you when we started working together, but you just don't see that from too many software providers, or certainly someone selling AI. I think it's a great industry to sell for AI and sell it to someone they don't know how they're going to deploy it. And like I said, the salesperson disappears. So what surprised us was that we got to some data and results a lot faster than we had with other things, like implementing a new ERP system, and it took a year to figure it out. This we implemented, I don't know, 4.5 years ago, and within months we were seeing data that we could use and data that we could make better decisions on, because we were not great at making decisions. The data helped us quite a bit. Yeah, wow. Measurable, does anyone buy from Earnest machine? Okay. Jason. We lowered pricing for Jason immediately. Shit. So, yeah. So what did we see right away? Sorry. Is we saw that we were able to even out our sale prices on a lot of stuff. First, let me back up. We started with inventory. As I mentioned, we carry a lot of SKUs. We stock inventory. Some of our inventory that we're buying is a 6-month to year supply. So we really need to make a good decision there. The inventory came down considerably on combination of our A moving and B moving items. The faster movers, we didn't need to buy as much as we thought. We could buy more frequently, less volumes, which was really helpful for us because we have good suppliers. And then we also saw that there was inventory that we just stopped buying because we didn't need to buy it, even though it showed up on someone's screen as you should buy this. Our ERP is pretty good. It's not as good as the data that Intuilize offers. So anyone can set up a program to say it's time to buy something based on these characteristics. But like you said, there's a bunch of paper maps and then there's GPS, and this provided us with a better understanding of what to buy, when to buy, how to buy it. So we first started on the inventory side, saw a huge improvement there, reduced inventory, buying the right inventory, freed up some dead inventory that we did not buy again. And then on the pricing side, I can't look at them, but we were able to raise prices in a few areas where we had been selling too low. And it's the standard issue of we had some salespeople who've been around a long time. I know my customer, I know the price, this is what I have to sell it at. Okay, well, let's just do a quick scatter diagram and show everyone else who's buying this item and they're paying up here. Why is Jason paying so little down here at the bottom? I'm not going to speculate why, but there was reasons. And so to give the sales team the confidence, what's it?
Don't worry, we have those customers.
Okay. So to give the sales team the confidence to know that there's something more than just a pricing person set the price, $7.99 per 100. To see the data and go, okay, we should be at $8.59 per 100. Or let me go the other way, $6.99 per 100, because that's where the market's at. Most of our data prior to Intuilize was really based on gut, based on historical, and it wasn't really accurate. It's just what we had always done. So we knew that was comfortable because we always did it, but it wasn't going to last long term. So we saw some lift on margin, considerable in some places, and also there were some customers that we acquired more business with because we were priced out of the market. We were priced too high. I have to add that part too, right? So from a strategic position, yeah, so I'm the owner of the business, the CEO, and I work with my leadership team. And for us to have a better understanding of real, I keep saying it, but real data, real information about what's happening in the business from how we're selling or how we're buying allows our leadership team to make better decisions. There's always that vacuum of information where someone says, why are we doing this? Why is the inventory this level? And there's a bunch of anecdotes. Oh, it should be here, my guy. And then there's these long stories. It's like nobody shared anything except a story, and we're back to square one. So now our team can look at this and say, there's real data here, real stories. Let me back up. There's stories with real data that's allowing us to make a better decision. Let's reduce the inventory here. Let's increase the inventory here. Well, CFO doesn't want to hear about increasing the inventory over here. I do, because I think we need the inventory. And then to look at the data and says, yeah, the data supports it. Increase that inventory, we can do better. There was a company that we acquired about 4 or 5 years ago, and they had always been, the owner was very comfortable with inventory being, just make up some numbers, no more than $1,000. And his sales were $3,000 for years. So we said, hey, we're going to acquire this company. We did looked at the data and said, what if we increase the inventory? The data is telling us to do that. We increased the inventory by twice, and business went up by twice. And then we did it again, and it went up, and it went up, until it got to that point that said, this is the right inventory to have in this item. I don't know about the industries you're in, but there's no data point that says the total market for a 5/8 11x4 flange bolt, you should have 19 million pieces always, and then you'll nail the market. There's nothing like that. So using the data allows us to say, here's our historical sales on that item, here's the usage, here's what we've quoted and didn't win. We think we should carry 6.5 million pieces. So that data allows us to make such better decisions to help our strategy.
Yeah, thank you. Questions?
What are you running for an ERP?
So what are we running for ERP? We recently moved to Microsoft Dynamics, which is Business Central and CRM. Yeah? And a couple others. Well done.
Prior to that, when you went live with this, was you on?
Prior to that, we were running 2 softwares. One was CRM for our sales and order side, and then we had a homegrown system that wasn't going to work much longer. So they made it work as best they could, but it works a lot better now that we're on Dynamics. You feel real good about that decision?
Well, nothing ever works.
Since 1998.
Oh, 98. Okay, wow. All right. We just put it in. What version are you on?
18.
Okay, all right. Good for you. Why'd you go like...
Because nothing ever integrates with GP.
Oh.
And we had to create a lot of different bridges to different systems. So when you said GP worked with it, I was like, thank God.
So we do have a small IT team, which has helped. So we do control a lot of our, I don't want to say control, we help to manage a lot of our APIs, but Intuilize's team helps us to determine the right API, how we should write that, and how it should work the best. So, and it works very, very well. So we load in, I forget what you call it, in our system it shows up in Intuilize price record, that's what I see, and then we know here's the pricing for that item. I believe we can even see this is an item that's sold at Intuilize suggested pricing versus a salesperson suggested pricing. Yeah. We haven't used that as a weapon yet internally, but it's coming. Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah.
You do a download daily?
How does it? It's not daily. It's live,
No,
right?
yeah, it's live.
Oh,
Yeah.
live, really? The APIs.
So depending on what you have, the inventory side is once per week, right? In the pricing side, it just depends on the customer. It could be, every week, or it could be daily. It just depends on that. But it just depends on what they have. For example, there are customers that they have a lot of like promos and all those things that are like more retail oriented, right? And that's a different ballgame. Or they have e-commerce, right? That is very high-end, sophisticated e-commerce where they have to do their own things. So it just depends on you guys. We can do either, or it's just.
Could you just kind of take a step back and in layman's terms kind of describe how it actually does it? How does it optimize pricing and optimize inventory? What does it look like? Where are the data points coming from? Just kind of give us a general overview of how it functions.
Yeah, the question is how does optimize pricing? So the analogy that I'm going to make is with you guys. So let's say that I'm selling you Pepsi or Coke, right? And you're buying those things for the last, let's say 12 to 24 months. So, and now that we know Jason is there, I'm sorry to pick, your name. So we're looking into all the people here selling at those prices, the Pepsi and Cokes. Then what we do is we'll do a segmentation of the customers that we have, right? So let's say that you guys are here and we segment them in 4 or 5 different groups.
You're only looking at Intuilize customers, or are you looking at the market in general?
No, we only use your data. We never use other people's data. We're just using your sales historical data. That's what we use. We don't use external data, and neither our customers. Every customer is set up in a completely different database. So for our models, they don't know, who is who in that case. So what we do is we train the model to see, and the analogy that I have is, imagine that this is what we're selling. So what we're going to do is we're going to train a robot to see how this device is being sold to all of you guys in the last 6 months, 12 months, 24 months, and try to understand why this was sold to 3 you guys in $1, to Jason in $1.20, to Jeff in $2, and the 2 people there in $5, right? So we wanted to understand this. And then once that model understands that, we'll be classifying, our customers, and we'll classify this product. How this product works for Kaylee and for Hannah and for you. Maybe for you guys, it's a commodity, right? You just buy it and you can buy it anywhere. But Jason and the 2 people that's over there that they're paying a high price, for them it's just a regular buy. They don't care, right? But that's how we train the model, right? And we do that SKU by SKU, training this. So typically, in the case of, Earnest machine, we may run 100 million combinations, right? Just to train the model. Once we train the model, now we go and say, okay, let's set the pricing for each of you guys. So we set a pricing for you, for you, for you, for you, for you, each guys. And we put it out there, and the salespeople, they know that our price has changed, but they don't have the nuances about that. For you, Martin, is going to be 1.25. For Kyle, it's going to be 137. For Hannah, it's going to be 130. For Jason, we keep it the same price. Make sense? So it's just small inches, inching up the price, decreasing the price. Maybe the people that we have there, going back to what Kirk says, we have been quoting to them and we are getting in order. Why? We were quoting them $5. I mean, they can go to the internet and they say, are you crazy? Right? So that's what we do. So that's how the model works. And the model, what I mentioned before, is that it goes and learns, right? So that's what I put it here. Can you do that by yourself? Sure. Oops. Let's see if can you do that by yourself? Yeah, you can have an Excel model trying to do that. But the beautiful about AI is that it's going to learn and adapt to changes that happen. So I expose the pricing 1 month. We have a conversion rate of 50%. Let's do the second month. 50%, it's the third month, 45%, something is going on. Immediately what the human will do is to review prices to everyone, because I've been there, I don't know what's going on, but guess what? I found out that those are the guys that I have to review the pricing. Okay, that's fine. I got the new order, I'm fine with it. But that's hard for a human to do. Go one by one, customer by customer SKU. That's what our model does. Learn from every single transaction what's going on. So that's how the pricing works. That makes sense? The SKU is exactly the same thing. We go and say, how are you buying this? For or one or two different, 5 different vendors. In the case of Earnest machines, sometimes they have buying the same product for 2, 3, 4, 5 different vendors, right? So how you're buying this? And what the model is being trained is to answer 3 questions: what to buy, how much to buy, and when to buy. Right? Because you have a demand part, but you have also demand coming from your customers, and you always have your planning side in terms of your suppliers, right? And they behave differently, right? So we do both things. We go and say, okay, how's going to be your supply? How's going to be your demand? And we go and do exactly the same thing. Do every single iterations, every single weekend on what's going to happen in the future, and adjust all that part. And we adjust the parameters so when the buyer is buying, they know what they are buying for. So that's how the model works. And we are measuring the performance of that, and the pricing is, we have a gross margin lift. We need to see how much their inside salespeople or outside people are using our pricing, so that we call, adoption, because that's important. Same thing on buying. How much are their buyers at adopting the buying parameters that we're giving to them? And we just presented, that's what Kirk says, that for some customers, he is not the only one. For all of them, that's the part that is shocking, because we as a company are in the business of helping you out as a coach. So as a coach, we encourage them, as well we're telling the Kirk, and I have these conversations with him, like, dude, this sucks. Right?
Yeah.
So we go that part. Say, you can do whatever you want, but you're paying me, right? Or you're paying us to tell you what we're seeing. And that's what our customers love from us. Because I have an skin in the game, yeah, because he's my customer. I wanted to please him, and I wanted to make sure I provide a service to him. But in the other side, I wanted to be completely transparent, because there is few people in the organization that can talk with Kirk or with Martin or with Jeff that part, right?
Coach is a nice word. Coach is a nice word. That'd be like loving and like, hey, want to help you out here. It's more like, hey, you've made some incredible mistakes this month. We're going to go over them line by line until you get it right. And he's laughing because it's true, and it's really helpful. I mean, that is really, really helpful. You have to have someone like that. And we've talked a lot. There's a lot of people who are not thinking about this. There's very few of us. In fact, here they are. And I think it's big moves that we can make that require an honesty and vulnerability to say, like, I don't think we have it figured out, and take his support. It is supportive. It's rough sometimes. It's like a drill sergeant, not a coach. So. And I want to point out on the purchasing side, when you're talking about this, I remembered we had a guy who worked at Earnest for 50 years. He was our director of purchasing when he retired, Tom Barrett, and he would go through, this was before where we are today, but he would go through that green bar printout, and Tom had really big hands, and he could hold 3 different highlighters in each finger, and he would go through and just click buy, don't buy. He had his system. Tom, how do you do that? Oh, I've been doing this for a long time. How are you going to train someone when you eventually retire? It just takes time. Like, look at them, like, that's not something we have. That's impossible. We can't do that. How do we get what's out of his head and into the system so a new person can join and say, hey, instead of spending 80% of my time with 3 different highlighters, well, they don't do that anymore, but I can spend 80% of my time and automate decisions, and I can reserve those 20% of the decisions with 80% of my energy and really understand those differently. Because it's not that everything is just runs automatic and it's great, but it takes all that low-level stuff off the plate of in this case, the buyer. They can make a smarter decision faster. Yeah. So.
Does this mean you're actually going to 4 highlighters?
4 highlighters, yes. Well, and a machine that holds it. And we found green bar paper in North Korea. We can still buy that. So, yeah.
Is this bolted onto your GP, and does it auto-generate some of these functions like pricing or?
Yeah, so technically the API connects Intuilize software with our software, and then when all of our orders we run through CRM. We use CRM to do order entry in BC. We don't use BC. I know it doesn't make a lot of sense, but that's how we do it. And the pricing is in CRM from Intuilize. So the salesperson, when they're on the phone or look at an email, they're seeing pricing in our system that's coming from their system. We don't have to log into Intuilize to find out what to do. Yeah. Right? Yeah.
No, yeah. All right, guys. Well, thank you guys for your time. Again, if you have more questions, let us know. I think we need to leave the stage. It's our time. So I really appreciate you guys coming in. And, again, if there's anything that we can help you out, more than happy to share our experiences. And again, enjoy the rest of the show. Thank you, Kirk, for being here.
Thank you.
I appreciate that.
All right, buddy.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Kirk.
Sure.